Welcome to our weekly Q&A show where we answer submitted questions live on YouTube on Tuesdays at 2 p.m.
Well, welcome to our Tuesday Q&A show, and this is where I answer questions that were submitted during the week, or also if you have questions, just put them in the comments. I'll answer them here. I try to do this every Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Sometimes we can't do it, and sometimes Aaron joins me, and I'm by myself today. So hopefully my answers are adequate for being by myself. If you have a second, please like this so other people know it exists. Subscribe to the channel. There's this thing called being a member that we really appreciate, and Dave, the band, became a member. Which just means you support us with a couple bucks a month, and it helps us buy gear to review and equipment and cameras and that kind of thing. So with that, let's get going with the questions. And the first one is, I'm curious if there's a specific sat phone that is preferred by Outfitters Idaho and the Pacific Northwest. I don't think we're using sat phones anymore at all. Maybe some outfitters are, but they're so unreliable. I remember Global Star was really good for a while, and then Iridium, and then it went back to Global Star. And so buying the phones, they're $1,000 or whatever, and you're just buying and selling them as they get better. And the talk time is, per phone, the plans I was getting was like $400 or $500 a month. And when you call on sat phones, the calls get dropped a lot. It's kind of a problem. So you're mid discussion with somebody, and you lose it, and then they can't call you back, and it's tricky. We're finding that sat texters are better. I think I have one here somewhere. Oh, here we go. Give me 1 second to grab it here. These things, this is a Garmin InReach. I have a little mini InReach. This one has a decent sized. Oops, let me make this up bigger here. This one has a decent sized screen. So it's not super annoying to type. It takes a while to type a message out, but you can connect it with your phone and just type with your phone keyboard, and it's pretty quick if it's connected on Bluetooth. This one I like because it's hard to drop, it's hard to lose, it has a longer battery life. I also have the mini one that's like that big for personal use. It's in my truck. I take it on trips. And the nice thing about texting over talking on the phone is you can send. Sorry, my hat's messy. Look at that hat. I don't see myself except now. But anyway. With the phone call, you say some words, they may or may not be understood correctly, and you lose the call. With a texter, you can be very direct to their message. This is what's going on. And it gets sent out, and the response comes back in, and you can just leave it on and get things back and forth in real time. And they work pretty well. So I carried sat phones for a long time, and then we switched to sat phones and sat texters. And once we did that, we just never used a sat phone. So we just stopped carrying the sat phone. The other bonus of this is it has the SOS button. So if there's immediate threat to life, you just press that. And the quickest possible way to help you should come. And you can communicate with emergency services through this. With the sat phone, if you have an emergency, you have to call somebody, they have to answer, and then you have to have a complete conversation. Here you can just go SOS. They hopefully will say, hey, is this a real emergency? What's the problem? You can text back. It's just better for communication. So I'm going to say don't use the sat phones anymore. That's my suggestion. And let's go with sat texters. Hopefully that helps. I don't know if you want to know specifically which one's the best sat phone. I can't tell you. I can tell you the Garmin InReach system works great. It's not perfect, but it works great. It takes about, on average, 2 or 3 minutes to get the message out, 2 or 3 minutes to get it back in. Depends on how deep the canyon is. But yeah, they work great. All right, moving on. All right, Owyhee. So before I even read this, I want to be really clear. I do not predict weather or flows on the Owyhee ever. I have the worst record of predicting those things. So if you want me to look into the future and predict river and flows, I will not ever do that. Okay, hopefully that's not what this is. I have an upcoming lower Owyhee trip, June 15 to 21st, soonest I can go. Today, June 6th, the flow is 1250. I'm guessing by June 15, 21, it'll be 800. Who knows? I don't know. It could be 10,000. I don't ever know what it could be. 100. I have no idea. You're guessing is probably better than mine. I heard Morecambe Dam has rebar sticking out at lower water. I didn't know that. I think your lowest is 800. We've run, let's see. So a lot of times people get information about what they think I think about things on the internet. Let me see where that comes from. Maybe that's probably on the best information I have is the Whitewater Guidebook page. So let's go to that. This is the page that my friend and I wrote up about the Owyhee. Yeah, so 800 to 5,000 is the recommended level. And so that's a recommended level based on the difficulty being class 3-ish. You can go lower. That doesn't mean it's the lowest you can go. That's just a recommended level. So I wouldn't recommend the average person goes lower for sure. But you can go lower. And we ran a commercial trip last year at 500. So I know it can be done lower. I know it's been rafted as low as 300. It just depends on your own tolerance for pain and your skill level and how heavy your boat is and all that. So without knowing anything about you, I would say, yeah, my lowest is not 800, but my recommendation is that your lowest should be 800. See anything. I'm not sure what that's referring to. I'm not sure what that question is. Any other advice about this flow? Don't bring too much stuff. Keep your boat light, and hopefully you're doing 5 or 6 days so you have time because the river moves slower. Are we running an air cougar lightly loaded with 4 people total? I don't even know what an air cougar is. Let's find out what that is. Air cougar. Whoa. Oh, good. We could do a mountain buzz. All right, mountain buzz. What do you got? Is that an air cougar? That's like a really interesting boat. It's like a cat boat, but more surface area, so it's going to sit higher. So interesting. Cool. I think that's what it is. Lightly loaded with 4 people total. Keep it light. 4 people. So you and 3 people are going to be on this boat. Not what I probably would not do that, but interesting. Interesting. You must have a plan. If it's that boat, that's an 18-foot cougar. I don't know if there's a smaller one or what you're taking. I just don't know where they're going to sit, and they're going to make those tubes heavy. So if it's shallow, they'll hit stuff. But you probably know what's going on. I think any other advice about this flow? Hopefully, you have another boat. I keep seeing people. If it's just you and 3 other people on this boat, if somebody falls out, I'm not sure how you plan to rescue them. And I think that's an underestimated part of boating that people are not really putting enough time and thought into is if somebody falls out, how do I rescue them? When you're one boat, you don't really have a plan for that. If you're 2 boats, you kind of have a plan for that. The boat in front could have a swimmer go downstream. Can the boat behind get them? It depends on the people. A good boaters can, but I don't think that's super smart to go with one boat with 4 people total. I would. My advice would be not to do that. If you're asking my advice. Okay, I've seen these lower videos. Cool. Yeah, looks doable. Yeah, I mean videos. I haven't seen these videos, but the real world is different than videos. I will line anything out in line, but don't want the portage. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to give advice not knowing your abilities, your physical fitness, the whole big picture of the trip. But I would say, hopefully, you're a good boater. Hopefully, you have more than one boat. It's a beautiful place worth seeing. You could, if you're physically fit and able and good with ropes, you can line. I think, well, you can't line all those rapids. It'd be hard to line Montgomery. Be hard to line. Some of those be hard to line. I think Bullseye would be hard to line. Yeah, a few of those would be hard to line. So anyway, I wish you the best. My advice is don't go with just one boat, but that's just my advice. Okay, I saw your video on the North Fork John Day run. Do you think a cat could get down it? If so, at what flow? So yeah, I have a virtual trip report coming out soon of North Fork of the John Day. I bet I can pull it up here just to give everybody a sneak peek at this video. I haven't quite posted it yet. Let's see if I can. Yeah, there we go. So the question is, do you think a cat could get down it? If so, what flow? That's a good question. Um, hmm. Let me get rid of this and just show some video. And there's this video tour report is gonna come out, I think in like 3 or 4 days. But this is just a quick look at it. And so you can see it's shallow with wood, and a cat could get down this, I think. When you get a little lower down, more of this. I'm just going to fast forward ahead. This is all cat boatable. I mean, it depends how good you are. I mean, there's basically, once you enter this part right here, let's see. So I'm in this for half of this in the first 2 miles. This part here goes. You're not going to eddy a cat out, and there's wood. So I could barely eddy out an inflatable kayak. I just you're gonna want to scout this entire first 2.5 miles pretty carefully, and realize you can't stop a cat. I could barely stop this inflatable kayak, and there could be wood. Once you get past the first 3 miles, I think it's way more doable. But there's going to be a lot of fast forward ahead. There's a lot of wood like this. There's this section here where there's wood like this. You're gonna have to portage, and you're gonna have to see it ahead of time and pull over. Here we are taking off after some wood. But as long as you can very adeptly pull over and jump out and grab your boat and do, like, I would say 6 solid wood portages and potentially more. There's another one. There's just a lot of stuff like this that's in the way. And this is where being physically fit and agile and nimble are just crucial. So I'm not going to say it's impossible to run North Fork of the John Day. It's certainly possible. A cat could get down it. I think to myself, could I get a cat down it? Yeah. Would I want to be in a cat? I don't know. That's a good question. But I think a cat could get down it. Flow, I wouldn't, man, I wouldn't go any higher than we did it, like 2,500. I'm guessing 18, 1900. Depends on the cat. If it's like a 10, like 11-foot wing cat that's like super nimble and lightly loaded, it'd probably be good. If you're talking about your 16-foot cat, don't bother. Like your 14-foot cat, maybe a 12.5. Depends on the boat too. Oh, that's the end of the question. Sweet. Okay, one comment. I just got from Middle Fork Salmon trip, 1 raft, 3 kayaks, all were experienced. We felt very exposed in the raft. Yeah. 1 raft by itself, exposed is the right word. If somebody falls out, who's going to get them? If the kayaks are in front of the boat, paying attention, heads up, I think you're good. But kayakers are surfing waves, and they're paddling ahead to camp, and so it depends. Are you all? I'm just curious, Mike. Were you guys running tight and looking out for each other, or were the kayaks being kayaks and not really paying attention to the raft? Because if the raft is by itself, especially whatever it was last week, 4.5, 5 feet, maybe I think it's 5 feet. Man, you flip that boat, it's gonna go for. Depends where you flip it, but you can on the middle fork of 5 feet. You flip a boat, it could go a mile pretty easily. And a kayak isn't going to you can bulldoze. Probably the best way to get it to shore is bulldoze it to shore, like put another raft up and just push it to shore. That's your best bet unless it just gets hung up. A kayak isn't going to bulldoze a raft to shore. They're just going to follow the kayak down. But you also have to get the swimmers out. So it depends. How many people were in first 20 miles? Yeah, cool. Yeah, I feel pretty good about that. And then how many people were on the raft? Yeah, exactly. Like, easy parts that make sense. How many people were in the raft? Like, if it flips, that's one person swimming. One person can hopefully get back on the boat, or that's one person to rescue. One kayak can get the person, and 2 more can try to figure out how to manage the upside down raft. But it's really hard to manage an upside down gear boat from a kayak. So exposed would be a good word for sure. This is where, man, high water middle fork, this is where I want the 16-foot cat. The big just cat, you can plow over things. It's probably not going to flip. 2 in the raft, yeah. So if you raft flips, you have 3 kayaks. Wait, 3 kayaks? Yeah, 3 kayaks. Hopefully the kayaks don't have a problem. Let's say a raft flips and a kayak swims, then you have 3 people in the water and 2 kayaks. It's tough, and it depends where it flips. Things could just be gone. Whereas if you have other rafts, again, you can bulldoze, like push the raft to shore with the boat. Somebody could jump on the upside of the raft, maybe flip it over midstream. You have options. So I think that's it for today's Q&A Tuesday. Thank you, everybody, for watching the show, for supporting the show, for not making too much fun of me, for submitting questions, for everything. I really enjoy doing this. It's something today's Tuesday, and I've been working in the yard all day getting stuff ready for the season. But it's such a nice break in my day to come in to answer questions and think about some complicated rafting questions. And yeah, hell yeah, fun try. Cool. What's a try? Hell yeah. Oh, you're a triathlete. Sweet. Fun try. Cool. But everyone, thanks for watching. And yeah, hopefully we'll have a Friday show. Aaron is living on the mainland right now. So he's trying to track the internet. So hopefully he gets back Friday. Yep. Thanks, Sean. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you hopefully Friday.